Final Cat. Shout out to Culture Cover and most importantly, Marsim. Shout out to y'all for tapping in. This video is new evidence confirms Tupac Shakur's death was a cover up. Now, I'm surprised we even still talking about this like years and years and years and years and years after the fact. And that shows you how much of a name they even had. And it's sad that what happened to them because they didn't get to live out to what they really wanted to. But without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
Shakur killed because he stood up to the evil in Hollywood?
The things that I could say weren't going to help my case. But because, it's like being exiled, from society.
Tupac's mysterious murder still hasn't been solved, and to this day, many fans are saying Tupac was taken out because he started exposing greed, corruption, and other dark industry secrets. Not only was Pac extremely outspoken about the hypocrisy in Hollywood, but he actively worked to help other people from becoming victims of the industry. One of these people is a former hip-hop video model who recently came forward claiming that she was almost sacrificed by the industry and that Tupac literally saved her life.
But you gotta have limits in sacrifices, to want to be rich or to want to be famous. You gotta have limits. You can't. That limit of sacrificing a person shouldn't be.
So was Tupac really eliminated because he tried to expose Hollywood? Let's get to the bottom of this.
You taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Step, step, step. Crush, crush, crush.
It's been over 26 years since Tupac Shakur was murdered at the age of 25, and his death remains unsolved. Numerous conspiracy theories about Tupac's passing have popped up over the years, from people claiming that Tupac faked his own death to those like Suge Knight's son who believe Tupac is still alive somewhere.
So in January, you posted a couple Instagram things that sort of implied that Tupac was alive and in Malaysia.
But while most conspiracy theories about Pac have been disproven, there's one interesting theory that simply refuses to go away. According to this theory, Pac was eliminated because he simply knew too much and wanted to share his knowledge with the world. Tupac knew the American dream is a myth perpetuated by wealthy elites to make working class people of all races fight each other. He knew that corporate greed runs every aspect of American society. He knew that Hollywood hides many dark secrets, and the list goes on. Pac was ahead of his time in so many ways, and more importantly, unlike most celebs who are worshipped today.
I feel like for him, he started like exposing it for the simple fact that he didn't want to be considered a sellout.
He was never scared of speaking his mind, and he used every opportunity to call out the hypocrisy in Hollywood. But is this the reason Pac passed at such a young age? Did the industry see him as a threat and took him out? Well, this is definitely one of the most plausible theories, but before we get into that, on December 7th, 1996, Tupac attended the Bruce Seldon vs. Mike Tyson boxing match with the head of Death Row Records, Suge Knight, at the MGM Grand Hotel. After leaving the match, one of Suge's associates, Trayvon Trey Lane, a member of the Compton-based MOB Pirates gang, spotted Orlando Baby Lane Anderson from the rival Southside Crips gang in the hotel lobby. Trey told Tupac that earlier that year, Baby Lane and a group of Southside Crips tried to rob him in a Foot Locker, and that's when a fight broke out between Pac and Baby Lane. After the fight was broken up by hotel security, Tupac returned to his hotel, the Luxor, Los Angeles, and told his then-girlfriend, Kidada Jones, about the fight with Bobby Lane. Tupac then changed
and his cousin was there
and left
too.
with Suge in a BMW sedan to Club 662, which was owned by Suge, to perform at a charity concert. At 11:10 p.m., Suge and Pac stopped at a red light at the intersection of East Flamingo Road and Koval Lane, and a car with two women inside pulled up to their left side. Tupac started talking to the women through the window of his car and invited them to go to Club 662. A few minutes later, a white Cadillac pulled up to Tupac's right side, and someone who was sitting in the back of the Cadillac rolled down the window and started firing at Tupac's BMW. Pac was hit 4 times, twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh, and one of the bullets penetrated his right lung. Suge was hit in the head by fragments, but despite that, and the car having a flat tire, he was able to drive Tupac and himself a mile from the site to Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon Avenue. That's when the pair was pulled over by the bike patrol.
I mean, from what Napoleon said, even if he lived, I think they took out his lung and stuff like that. So he something of the nature basically that he wouldn't have been able to rap anymore.
then alerted paramedics through the radio. After arriving on the scene, police and paramedics took Tupac and Suge to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, and Pac was placed on life support machines.
At this time, the wounds are life-threatening, but serious, not in critical condition at this time.
Pac eventually had to be put under a medically induced coma. However, he gained consciousness after Kadada visited him and played Don McLean's song Vincent. As for Suge, he was released from the hospital the day following the shooting. However, he did not speak on the incident until after Tupac died.
I'm driving, telling him I'm going to get to the hospital, kick back. Pac looked at me and said, you know what? You need the doctor more than me. You the one shot in your head. And we laughed the whole time going to find out what to the hospital. That's the conversation we had. It wasn't, Pac was a man the whole time. It wasn't that he was like, oh, I'm shot. He cracking jokes. He like, yeah, they shot me. He said, but you shot in your head. Look at your head bleed. Look how much it's bleeding. That was Pac. I'm like, man, shut up, I'm gonna get you to the doctor.
Suge also claims Tupac was trying to leave death row before he was hit. However, he didn't cooperate with the police and only told him he heard something but saw nothing on the night of the incident. While Pac was in the hospital, death row music director Gobi Rahimi and members of Outlawz guarded Pac because they believed whoever targeted him was gonna come back to finish him off. However, Pac's condition worsened after the removal of his right lung, and at 4:03 p.m. on Friday, September 13th, 1996, 6 days after the incident, Tupac Shakur was pronounced dead.
News of rapper Tupac Shakur's death spread quickly among rap fans and artists at the Nassau Coliseum tonight. Thousands are here for the back-to-school jam. The mood, sadness, and shock.
Tupac made a difference in hip-hop, regardless how you go about it. He was strong. He had his positive moments. He had songs that touched.
As for the official investigation, the case slowed down very early on. And 1 year after the incident, Sergeant Kevin Manning, who headed the investigation, told the Las Vegas Sun that Tupac's case may never be solved. On the other hand, Idi Amin, Tupac's collaborator and member of Outlawz, claimed the police knew exactly what happened. But then, September 2002, the LA Times published a two-part story by Chuck Phillips titled "Who Killed Tupac Shakur?" based on police affidavits and court documents claiming that the shooting was carried out by the Southside Crips to avenge the beating of one of its members by Tupac a few hours earlier. According to Phillips, Baby Lane Anderson, the Crip member who was attacked by Tupac and his entourage at the MGM Hotel, was behind the incident. The LA Times report also included references to the connection between New York City criminals and East Coast rappers, including Tupac's rival of all time, Biggie Smalls Wallace. However, both Baby Lane and Biggie repeatedly denied involvement. Las Vegas police consider Baby Lane as a suspect, but he was never charged, and on May 29, 1998, Baby Lane died after being shot in Compton. As for Biggie, he was murdered in a drive-by shooting on March 9, 1997, and his family continued to deny Biggie's involvement in Tupac's death. The family even produced computerized invoices showing that Biggie was working in a New York recording studio the night Pac was targeted. To this day, no one was arrested in connection with Tupac's death, and no one was ever ruled out as a suspect either, making the whole situation a breeding ground for countless conspiracy theories. One of the theories alleged that Diddy was involved in both Tupac and Biggie's passing. In October 2011, LAPD detective Greg Kading published a book claiming that Diddy commissioned Baby Lane's uncle, Dwayne Keith D. Davis, to take out Tupac and Suge Knight for $1 million. This claim was recently reignited by Jaguar Wright, who claimed Diddy was also involved in Biggie's passing.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. Fucking Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived.
However, many fans believe this goes much deeper.
I mean, is that why like why this situation keep getting milked? Because you see Biggie NFTs, you see Biggie statues, you still see like some of Biggie like verses being put on like certain songs and stuff like that. I mean, Gene Dale, Diddy's old security guard or like bodyguard was saying that Biggie was really broke. And it was because the way he was signed, Diddy got most of the money, and there's probably some truth to that whole situation then.
deeper than Diddy, and they're convinced Pac's elimination was an elaborate cover-up orchestrated by some very powerful people in the industry with the help of the police. See, despite Pac's celebrity status, the police made a series of missteps in the investigation. According to Chuck Phillips' LA Times story, the police completely discounted the fight that occurred just hours before the incident at the MGM Hotel, and they also failed to follow up with a member of Tupac's entourage who witnessed the shooting. Besides that, the police also failed to follow up on a lead from another witness who spotted a white Cadillac similar to the car in which the culprits escaped. Two witnesses, Edie Amin and Tupac's bodyguard Frank Alexander, both told the LA Times that the Las Vegas police never showed them photos of possible suspects in the case. However, the police denied this and claimed Mean and Alexander never told them they could identify anyone from the night of the incident, which only further fueled the speculation about a cover-up. But that's not all. In 2011, the FBI released new documents related to the investigation, which described an extortion scheme by the Jewish Defense League, an organization classified by the FBI as a right-wing terrorist group. According to FBI documents, the JDL tried to extort protection money from Tupac and made threats against him and other rappers, including Eazy-E. The unsealed documents state that someone from JDL, whose name was redacted, targeted Tupac Shakur prior to his death in Las Vegas, Nevada. And many fans are convinced this information is extremely relevant and could point to Tupac's case being an industry cover-up. On top of that, Gloria Velez, one of hip-hop's OG video vixens, recently dropped a bombshell claim that the industry tried to sacrifice her and that Tupac saved her life. At the time Tupac passed away, Gloria was 17 and pregnant with singer Aaron Hall's child, who was reportedly supposed to sign to Death Row Records. In 1996, just 4 months before Pac's incident, Gloria was invited to attend a Mother's Day event organized by Death Row, and Aaron informed her that he had to go to a meeting, so Tupac was going to take her to get her hair and nails done ahead of the event and make sure she was safe.
And Aaron was like, I can't take you. I can't take you. Tupac is going to take you and make sure you're good and safe. I was like, oh, okay. You know, we're in LA and, you know, my first time out there, so okay, he's gonna make sure I'm safe. I didn't think nothing.
Gloria said she had a deep conversation with Tupac that day, and he opened her eyes to many things she didn't know about the industry and life in general.
You know, me and Pac had deep conversations. That was the first time I've ever been alone with him and actually one-on-one. I mean, he schooled me on life. He schooled me on becoming a mom. He schooled me on just so many things that I would never forget our conversation.
Gloria and Tupac later met up with Aaron, and Gloria noticed Aaron looking on edge. According to Gloria, she later found out that the meeting Aaron attended was set up to organize her sacrifice.
We went to the hotel, and Aaron's extra, you know, stress and pacing back and forth, and him and Pac start talking. So he's extra mean, extra just everything, and I felt like there was something going on. It's more than just business. So to let you know, allegedly, when he was, you know, going to this meeting, he was kind of pleading for my life. You know, some of these people, to be down with the cause, you got to sacrifice people, which is insane to me.
Gloria said Aaron pleaded for her life at the meeting, and they told him
Okay.
she was replaceable.
When it comes to the whole quote-unquote sacrifice thing, what is the real meaning behind it? Because a lot of people got a lot of different like meanings behind it. So what was gonna happen to her specifically? Like, I want to know like detail what was gonna happen to her.
And that the sacrifice was going to happen whether he liked it or not. As the Mother's Day event approached, Gloria said Aaron was getting increasingly more aggressive and there was something eerie in the air. Gloria also described the white dress Aaron bought her for the event as dressing a lamb before offering it to the wolves.
When he was pleading for my life and telling that, you know, he doesn't want nothing happening to me, but he's still taking me to the venue. You know, I went over this over and over in my head. Why would he take me? Why would he put a white dress on me? It's like, you know, dressing the lamb and giving her to the wolf.
But here's where the story gets even weirder. Gloria recalled how when she and Aaron arrived at the event, an elderly woman approached her and touched her belly reassuringly. And at that point, Aaron's whole demeanor changed.
This old lady was walking out, being escorted out actually. A mature lady, she was like in the 70s or 80s year old, had an entourage, and she stopped Aaron and I. She grabbed my belly, and I was only 4 months, but super skinny. I wasn't even showing. And she says, don't worry, your son is going to be all right. He's going to be healthy and he's going to be good, which we didn't know if we're having a boy or a girl. Then she looks at Aaron and tells him, you know what? You be good to her and you protect her. And she prayed on us. That's God. God sent an angel right there because his whole demeanor changed.
Moments later, a scuffle broke out and Gloria realized something bad was about to happen as several men and women rushed toward her as if they were trying to attack her. But then Tupac suddenly jumped in front of Gloria and warned the group not to touch her.
Going on. Because I see the fear now in Aaron's face. Like, shut the up. You know what I mean? So I see the fear that it's more than just they fucking, right? So within the commotion and people started moving towards, and you see the dudes, Pac runs. He runs towards Aaron, grabs up the girl, and says, nobody f***ing touch her. Points to me. And he goes, she's family, she's Aaron's wifey. I told you nobody fucking touches.
Gloria said that at that moment she had no idea what was going on. However, she realized Tupac was her angel.
Got that, but I didn't know how real it was going to get, or what they wanted to do, I should say. So Pac comes in and comes up to us and be like, you know, you guys are good. And looks at Aaron and says, don't stay long. Like dead up like that, don't stay long. And then hugged us and then went on stage. And he's my God. Not knowing at that point he was my angel, he saved my...
Now it's worth mentioning that Reggie Wright, the former head of security for Death Row, disputed Gloria's story and claimed she was lying for clout.
Tupac took her to get her nails.
It's always something, man. It's always a spin. It sounds truthful, and then somebody else comes out and make it seem like a battle of who's telling the truth or not.
Done. Oh, event that started at 11 o'clock on a Sunday on Mother's Day with his mothers in town. That right there should tell y'all that she lying for clout and chasing. Just that lie alone.
However, judging by fans' comments on social media, most of them are saying it's Reggie Wright who's lying. And they're convinced Tupac was eliminated because he tried to stand up to the evil in Hollywood. Man, I believe her. Hollywood is evil and they need fresh sacrifices, one fan said. This sounds like something Tupac would do because he knows the industry. Aaron Hall, where is he now? And tell me, was it worth setting up a 17-year-old to die to feed the beast? I believe this happens with a lot of these people. And when it's called out, they're dismissive and call people crazy. People miss the point that Pac had a whole album called Killuminati. I believe he was one of the few in the industry who found out what goes on and literally made it his business to expose, stop, and destroy them at all costs, even with his own life. And not just giving up his life as a result of being in the industry, but vocally letting him know he didn't mess with them and that he hated them and everything they do. But let's hear your opinions on this. Do you think Tupac was taken out because he wanted to expose the industry? Let us know what you think of that.
Shout out to Culture Cover. Y'all get in the comment section down below and let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Rest in peace to Tupac. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.